we all did the same thing, and Memphis let us all down from a 5-0 week, but I am above 500, and that's all that matters to me. And just a mere 8 games behind Craig and 10 games behind you. So, I'll pick up a game if I needed to pick up 2 games a week for pretty much the rest of the season. And if we do a bowl thing, we need to just do it all out so I can maybe get you there. And here's the thing about bowl pick'em. It is the hardest thing in the world now because you can find out an hour before a bowl game that a bunch of people opted out.
I thought we were just going to do the college football playoff, but whatever we decide to do.
The only way that I could catch up, I think, at this point to either of you is to do a full bowl pick'em.
Well, you can't change the
do
rules.
all that.
Here we are.
And so, no, this is Andrew's thing. So Andrew gets to make the call of what games we pick and when.
Bottom line, there's 5 games a week. five per week max.
Yeah.
All right, so that was boring. We all picked the same team.
Yeah, Memphis got in a major hole there against Tulane and tried to dig their way out of that late. Made it very, very interesting there in the fourth quarter. Towards the end of that game, they had a shot to win it and fell short. So really nice win by John Summerall after the big embarrassing loss to UTSA. A nice turnaround for them. But, we all put Memphis at home on our picks, and we all struck out there. So I think we've got maybe a couple differences this week. We'll see, I guess.
All right, so here we go.
All right, starting out, USF versus Navy. Blake Horvath was out last week against Notre Dame. I haven't even looked to see if he's playing this week, but if he's not, then I feel really good about this. And even if he is, I think USF is just better than Navy is. If Blake Horvath is playing, it'll be a better game. But I'm gonna ride with the Bulls here.
I don't know. I looked for an update on Horvath, and I haven't seen one just yet. But I looked online. Maybe that's on Twitter, and I haven't looked there just yet. But, give me the Bulls on the road. They're a really fun story. They're a really good team. Byron Brown's been great. Remember when they were one of the first teams to play this year, and I sort of half-jokingly said, put him in the Heisman race. And, obviously that faded, but he's been excellent. Alex Golish, another guy. We just talking about John Summerall, but Golish, a guy who I feel like he's being mentioned, but not nearly as much as I anticipated that he might be. He's kind of the 3rd or 4th or 5th or whatever type of guy mentioned when I look around a little bit. Definitely not as mentioned as much as Summerall, but give me the Bulls on the road.
They're a double-digit favorite, 10.5. By the way, Bill Wagner, who covers Navy, that Horvath expected to start in their game.
Thanks.
A must-win situation if they're going to be a part of the American as a representative for the championship game. It's also senior day at the Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. I also will take USF. I really like Alex Golish, so that's who I'm going to take. And going up against Navy, they are really pretty good. Fun to watch. Throw the ball more than you think, but I'm going to take the Bulls. They're playing at a nice level.
Next up, rolling along, USC versus Iowa. I think that USC's offense will be held relatively in check here. I do not expect them to get the kind of weather they had in Iowa last week, which was a boon for the Hawkeyes. Very impressed with what Lincoln Riley's done with Jaden Maiava, and he can say that his fake punt was legal all he wants to. He's not the authority on it. The league is, and they said it was. So maybe he's still mad about that and try some more shenanigans this week, but I got the Trojans here.
I think that this was probably the hardest game to pick for me. I really went back and forth on it quite a bit. Really impressed by Iowa, but I do think that they are maybe a little bit stung by last week, and that the weather and the setting and all that I do think played immensely into that game. But got a really good defense, so that matchup with what USC's been able to do this year is going to be a lot of fun, and really the critical matchup. Jaden Maiava is not somebody who I thought was going to be as splashy and as good as he has been. Now, I thought when he came over to L.A. that he was a good pickup, but I just didn't think he'd have as good of a year. But, hell, he's being coached by Lincoln Riley, who, despite what you may think of him, still knows what he's doing with quarterbacks, and I think that's shown this year. So, give me USC at home. I think that the Trojans have been able to kind of quietly fly under the radar because I feel like last year, Lincoln Riley, hot seat, Lincoln Riley, what's going to happen here? And we haven't heard much about that. But have you seen, what was the rumor, about him looking around and he
no,
stomped out.
There's something out there.
Yeah, but what job was it?
LSU.
Yeah, the LSU job, which was also a job he was rumored for before he took the USC job. And so he's come out and spoken on it and said what he can say. But, of course, nobody's going to believe anything that he says until he actually does it. So
I do actually believe the emotions behind it was like, y'all know what I went through when I
Right.
came here.
Yeah.
Like, I believe that, like.
But the difference is, though, Paul, is the USC media is like a 1/100th of the
Yeah.
OU. Like, there would not be people outside his house in Brentwood or wherever the hell he lives, the Palisades or something.
He's in Malibu, baby.
Compared to, well, wherever. It's all the same area. But I don't think it would be quite the same as, like, people stalking you at the airport on your private jet with you and your assistants at 2:00 in the morning or whatever all the scenarios were.
No.
Then.
I mean, like, they could send all those people out, and if Matthew Stafford, sends out a tweet that was a pocket, like, it's all these things. People think he's got a concussion, he's not playing. They'll all stop. You know,
They had a little stretch there where they were starting to get a little bit fragile. They lost to Illinois, lost to Notre Dame, beat Michigan in between that. And then, of course, any team that can beat Nebraska, you know how good they're playing. Well, they're playing. I take USC. I just think they have too much. Iowa is so hard to pick when they play, no matter where they're playing, especially at Kinnick Stadium, but they're not. They're at the LA Coliseum, so I'll take the Trojans to win their third straight.
Well, moving on. Georgia versus Texas. I saw our picks here. I can't wait to hear one of yours. I think Georgia's just too good. They are a better coach team this year than Texas is. I'm not dogging the Texas coaching staff, but this is one of the more impressive coaching jobs to me in Kirby Smart's tenure, in that he does not have the team he had in 2022 that was just, Optimus Prime at every single position. He's got really good and very talented players, but in the new era, he's done well in that they can't just rely on their talent to get them out of holes anymore. They have to really play gritty, and Georgia plays gritty a lot. And Gunnar Stockton, I just love him. So I'm going with the Dogs here.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a hell of a scrap, and they've obviously had Texas' number lately. I'm going with Georgia at home. If this game was in Austin, I'd think about it a lot more, but I've never really pushed off of picking Georgia here. So give me the Dogs, and I'm very curious to see the quarterback play on both sides of this game. I mean, that's where we all take our eyes and look most of the time to begin with. But Georgia's got a really good running game. I think they've got a little mojo going right now all around, as compared to Texas, who has looked a lot better in recent weeks. Is definitely on a surge where kind of wanted to write them out a couple of weeks ago, and now here they are, and they're right in the thick of things again. So really, really interested in seeing that Georgia offense versus this Texas defense. But I'm going to take the Dogs in Athens.
I thought Georgia last week really looked like maybe they started to click on offense. But here's my deal. Paxton, are you listening to me? Something about the horns. Paul, how many times when somebody has a chance to take them out and they don't? Kentucky, no. Vanderbilt, no. Yeah, I know Georgia's a bigger handful than that.
One of these things are not like the other.
Yeah, I agree. But there is something about them. And when you survive like they did against Kentucky and Vanderbilt, then you get an off week. I think that gives them a chance to kind of tighten some things up a little bit. I'm going to say this, and if I'm wrong, that's fine. I think Georgia, I don't know if I've just kind of liked the way they've looked. I know they had the great game with Alabama, et cetera. But they look like they may have gotten themselves back in a nice rhythm on offense. Texas, there'll be a turnover early. They're not afraid to go into Georgia. They've won in Tuscaloosa. They've won at Ann Arbor. You know what they are. I'm taking the Horns. I am taking the Horns.
I think you have a lot of trauma when it comes to them, and it's justifiable.
I do.
It's justifiable.
Yeah.
But at no point this year have I thought that Texas has played a game in which they look better in the same week as Georgia. I think that's why I picked Georgia. I just think, you can't point to one to me. Okay, what's next?
I have to look at the weekend when they beat OU and see what Georgia did. All right.
Yeah, Alabama versus Oklahoma. Roll Tide here. I would love to see Oklahoma win this game, though, and throw a lot of things into chaos. But I think Alabama's just too good here, especially at home. the running games for these two teams are shamefully bad for the caliber of teams that they are. So just whichever quarterback has the hottest hand, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see John Mateer, ratchet it up a notch and really give Bama a run. But Ty Simpson's, one of the best quarterbacks in the country too, and has had a more consistent season so far. So I'm rolling with the Tide.
Yeah, I like Alabama here as well. They're on a hell of a streak as far as SEC play, as far as winning games at home. Now, eventually all streaks die, and Oklahoma's a good candidate to go and end that. And Oklahoma's had their successes against Alabama. Just look at last year. Look at that famous Trevor Knight Sugar Bowl years and years ago, a game that Alabama promptly turned around and said, oh, we didn't care about that game. But that's another story for another time. It's funny how that often happens after losses. But nevertheless, I'm taking Alabama. Really like the way Ty Simpson is playing. I do think if Oklahoma has a knife they can kind of slice into this Alabama defense, it would be John Mateer in the running game. I'd say the running game in general, except for the fact they don't really have a running game outside of John Mateer. If they did, then I'd feel a lot better about Oklahoma's chances here. But I think the fact that it is kind of Mateer or bust in the run for the most part this season, I don't think it'll be something they can really take massive advantage of. But hey, he's a playmaker. This is going to be a really fun game. Great the way this schedule fell. You got Texas, Georgia, and Oklahoma, Alabama all in the same weekend. I think that's awesome, especially with all four very much being in play for the big prize there, not only in the SEC but also nationally as well. So give me Bama at home. I think they're going to be able to limit Mateer, and I just really, again, like the way Ty Simpson's commanding that offense right now. OU's defense is really, really good.
Yeah.
But if we're saying which quarterback's going to be able to throw it around a little bit better, then I'm going to go with Ty Simpson.
Yeah, he's been really good after that loss to Florida State. Alabama could have just completely who knows? But they just keep winning. They're not flawless either, but I'm going to take Alabama, and I think because of what happened at the end of last year when you didn't just beat them, they beat them up. And that's probably been one of those headlines that's up on the walls in a couple of lockers or whatever. I'm going to take the Crimson Tide. But how they cannot run the ball. Is that the offensive line? They got Proctor and others, or are the running backs more kind of bangers rather than somebody that can go 40 or 50 on a given snap?
They do not have Oklahoma has a couple guys that are that athletic. One of them's a true freshman. One of them we thought was going to be great, but we haven't seen him this year, and Jaden Ott.
That's the weirdest thing.
Such a weird thing. Everybody was so excited about that. And Alabama just, even their big, when you talk about Najee Harris or Derrick Henry or these guys that were even the big, bangers, like Derrick Henry will haul off and give you, he has a 98-yard run in his career in the NFL. Like he'll give you a long run. They just don't have that dude in their running back room right now, which is very odd for a place like Alabama.
Yeah, I think Jam Miller can be a pretty good running back. I think it's O-line, and I think that they've also tried to just say that it's a lack of kind of the right mentality. I saw, Ty Simpson talking here recently, and he pinned it on it being like a mentality thing. So, I don't know how much, how if the mentality's not working 10 games in the season, what, I don't know.
You
if
are
that's
who
still,
your stats say
yeah,
you are,
exactly.
Right?
It's after a while, it's shouldn't y'all be mentally tough enough to get mentally right if it's only a mental thing at this point? So I think it's more than just a mental thing. I think it's that, they have some deficiencies there on the offensive line is the biggest issue.
You're taking Alabama.
Yeah,
I'll take Alabama. I will.
Oklahoma is coming off the bye, so that is
that
notable.
helps.
They are
I think
coming off an open
Alabama's
week.
playing 2 or 3, 4 games in a row where teams are coming off the bye, including later in the year against Auburn. Oklahoma's defense is number 4 in the country rush defense. Mm-hmm. They're not giving up but pennies. So that will be interesting. Alabama's going to have to get a pick. They're going to have to force Mateer into a turnover like he did against Texas, put pressure on him.
That's what he does, though.
And
that's the
what
thing.
he does.
He turns the ball over. He takes calculated, sometimes dumb risks, and when it's boom or bust. That's basically what I kind of view him as, and I said this when they first picked him up, that I was excited about it, but I also know there's an element to his game where, he can get a little squirrely and try to make some things happen, and that's what makes him great at times, but it's also what swings the other direction. So which version of Mateer do we get as far as the risks paying off or not this weekend will be a big determining factor in whether or not they win this game.
So we all take the Crimson Tide. I will be interested if Alabama can pop a run somehow early in that game and maybe flip the script on what they've been able to do. And
Is that it, or we have one more? We have one more.
yeah,
okay.
we have one more.
One more game. Notre Dame versus Pitt. Man, Pitt is everybody this week that doesn't want Notre Dame in the playoff. Pitt can take them out. They're on a 5-game winning streak. They've got this game at home. It is going to be raucous there, I am sure, at the former Heinz Field. I wish I knew what the word acrisure meant. But I think Notre Dame's just too good on defense and maybe will not get befuddled by their very good true freshman quarterback like everybody else has been these last 5 games. I think he'll put some stings on them, and if they can keep some guys up and healthy and making plays, they'll do something. But I just think that Notre Dame they're also on a roll. I mean, since they lost those first 2 games, they're on a roll. And I don't see it stopping this weekend, although they'll get a tough matchup.
Financial technology and insurance company.
I know, but it's just a word that doesn't mean anything. It bothers me.
Oh,
Like in May, it's like it's
it
not
does
even
to the
a name.
company.
It's probably a couple words put together.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah. Well,
acrisure.
I don't like
Sounds like a cream.
I have
put
no
on
opinion
a
on it.
rash.
I don't care about it at all. But yeah, I'll take Notre Dame here. Although based on last night, I'm not rooting for Notre Dame to lose, but I would not hate to see it, just to see the reaction of it by various parties. That would be really, really interesting. I mean, Pitt has been terrific. Mason Heinschel has taken over from Eli Holstein. He's been very, very good, been very, very productive, and downright, a threat to turn Notre Dame on its head this weekend, having home field advantage, having the big, was it game day that they have this weekend, or is it
At
Big
Pitt,
Noon? I get confused.
One of the two.
Yeah, one of the two. But it'll be a great atmosphere. I think Pitt's a fun story, and Heinschel's great. But give me Jeremiah Love and Notre Dame. I've just been very impressed, and their losses are to really good teams. Although you can debate Miami and all that. I think that Notre Dame's the better team based on what I've seen this season.
I'll take the Irish. I love the run game. They're making just enough plays. I still think they're probably a little overmodulated after the losses, but the A&M obviously is very, very good and where they are. So I like what Pitt's trying to do, but I'll take the Irish. So what does that mean, Andrew? Where are we with our picks? Do we have there we are. Are you kidding me? I'm the only one with the balls to pick somebody different this week after last week's boring picks.
Look, I feel good. I picked all
Can
the
you
same
make
as
a
Craig.
pick and hope you're wrong?